Dan, thank you
Rob?
for being here, man.
Oh, excited to be here.
Me too. I'm excited to be here too. Why are you excited to be here?
You know, because this is something that I want to overcome. You know, just getting in front of the camera, talking, because I love talking to people. I love talking about my story. And I don't want to have the fear of having one of these things in front of me and allowing that to stop me from sharing what I want to share.
Got it. All right, let's pull it a little closer to your face. Bam. Yeah, like right.
Yeah.
You can stretch it out. Bam, right there.
Bam.
Yeah, there we go.
That's where it gets scary.
Let me make sure. Yeah, let me make sure it's not covering your face.
No, you're good.
On that. Oh, dude, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Well, all right.
Are you used to seeing me this jumpy?
A little extra jumpier than
yeah.
usual, but then again, I see you at 4 a.m, so it's
Full of-
we're all rebooting the computer at that point.
Yeah, I'm usually like I'm trying to figure out my life when I see you in the morning. I'm still like, what the fuck is going on here? And then when it's around like 6 o'clock, I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm up to.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I wanted to do this, to set this up for you so you can kind of get some reps in before you step foot onto the field.
Yeah.
And you play.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
you really
man.
went above and beyond, so that it means a lot to me.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. I appreciate your appreciation. So Dan, we're gonna keep this as real as possible, like how I run my podcasts.
Let's do it.
I want to first of all thank you for being here and setting time aside to be here.
Absolutely.
Whether or not we publish this or not, this is just
All
for
good, man. It's practice.
Yeah, this could be
practice
something.
makes perfect. You never know.
Right? I want to point. I always start out my podcast like this, man. Like, I like to point out things in people that I see and that I recognize in other people.
Cool.
And I know you hear this a lot from other people. I'll say it to you again. You know, you're the first person I talk to in the morning.
Yeah.
You've heard that, right?
You know, so I tease. So for those that don't know, running the gym and running gyms for a really long time, I've always loved the first shift. You know, the opening shift. Why? Because you see the people that are the most dedicated, right? Like getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning is not easy. You know. So for those people who are dedicating themselves to come that early, it means a lot to them, right? And it means that whatever they have going on after the gym is also really important to them, right? So they want to be the best person, the best versions of themselves. So what's one easy way to do that is go to the gym first thing in the morning, right? And for a lot of people, and it's a privilege for me, is that I get to be one of those first people that they have to interact with every morning, you know? So I bring 110% of myself so that I can elevate them, you know? So if I was that guy at the front desk that wouldn't greet you, my energy was low, it's like, that's like a horrible way to start your day, right? But if the first thing is, good morning, what's up, Rob, what's going on? And it's like, whoa, it's like a punch of coffee in your face, you know? So it's like I said, it's a privilege, you know, to be able to do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you being the first person I speak to, maybe not the first face sometimes, but the first person I engage with, you've always been this uplifting, happy little light bulb. So I've never used light bulb
take it.
to describe anybody before, but you're like this light bulb, and it's like, oh shit, we're on, it's go time.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing, man. It's like It's like kind of like this, where when I wake up in the morning, I want to fill my mind. If I'm consuming anything, I want to consume something that has to do with high frequency, with God, with the universe, with something that has to do with prosperity or wealth or whatever it is that's substance.
Something positive.
Something positive, right?
Yeah.
And so then the first human engagement is the light bulb, Dan.
Boom.
Second thing that stands out to me, and it makes sense now that we've worked together for a month now.
Yep.
You are a sponge. Like, you soak up game like no other, dude.
Thanks.
I've said this to you many times.
Thanks.
You are fucking coachable, dude. Highly coachable, and I respect that, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
And now it makes sense looking back, where you would always, you're inquisitive. You always ask questions. You share your own thoughts as well, but you also ask deep questions.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I'm talking to you, it's not like I'm talking to a wall or some sort of blank face, or especially not a know-it-all.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of humility to you too. You're like, oh,
Thanks.
I didn't know that. Oh, I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
That's something I respect massively.
Cool.
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, number one, nobody's perfect. And as much as some people might think that they are, you know, it just shows how ignorant they really are. But I feel, and most people say this, right? It's always good to learn something new every day, right? And there's just so many different areas in life. Me being from fitness to finance to just overall well-being. There's so much out there to learn, right? And I'm grateful to be able to meet so many amazing people that come from all different types of expertise, right? So why not pick their brain, right? If it's there, if they're willing to give it too, you know? And I mean, we're both about the same age, right? So as much as I admire you because you have a great story and you come from a lot of experience and you bring a lot of nuggets to the table, I'm happy to always share mine, you know? And I might not have as many as you have, but to be able to have that exchange, it's amazing, right? It's definitely the human experience, right? Like, why not help the next guy or share something or learn something from them? And that's kind of my take on it.
I love that, man. I love that. Like, hunger for knowledge, but also acknowledging that you don't know everything. And what you said about like you having or me having these nuggets to exchange and you being willing to exchange those nuggets, that's how I look. That's what I look for in people. It's like, are you a taker or are you someone who's also a giver, right?
Yeah.
And you're a giver big time. And I have no problem giving to someone who's giving as well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we can exchange here. Like, this is awesome. It's beautiful. So I value that in you.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to say the last thing is your consistency. Like, it's not just about being a light bulb one day and then fucking being a dead light the next day, or asking questions one day and then the next day you're just a mute. Like, you are consistent across the board.
Thanks.
And when I think about someone who's consistent, that means they're showing up in life being consistent.
Yeah.
In other areas of their life.
Yeah.
So being that given right there about being consistent, where have you seen the most growth in your life just from the habit of consistency?
So I wish I could tell you that my whole life I was that way, and truly not. When I was young, I was super lazy. I thought I knew it all. I was definitely heading down the wrong path, right? And it wasn't until things became serious in my life, whether it was my health, because I was very overweight, when I started a family, when I got into a serious relationship, when I actually cared about my future and what I wanted to build for myself and leave behind, that's when I realized that in life, there's two parts, right? If it's something that's important to you, you got to be disciplined and you got to be consistent, right? Like, one without the other is you're either not gonna accomplish it or it's gonna take you really forever to get it done, right? So the first thing that I saw where it worked for me was when I was overweight, So I don't know if I ever shared this with you. At one point of my life, I was about 300 pounds. Like, I was a fat boy, If you look at my family, a lot of them are just traditional Hispanic big types. And as a kid, being very insecure in high school, I just, talking to my family like, oh, like, why are we all overweight? And they're like, oh, it's just in our blood. That's just the way it is. And I was like, nah, no way. Like, it can't be, right? So I got super into muscle and fitness magazines and just learning how to work out. I got a membership at LA Fitness, and I was just every day after school was there, an hour of cardio every day. And doing that for 1 year, I lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
So that is, I guess, the one example where it clicked for me that consistency is going to win the game, right? And then just applying that to everything else in my life, I knew that it worked. So the same thing. So when I decided to take the route of learning finance and becoming a finance professional, those are not easy licenses to get. They're federal licenses, big tests, a lot of information, a lot of shit that they don't teach you in school. So every day I studied, while I was at work, if I had a break, I went to the back of the building and I just studied. Every morning I studied. Every night before I went to bed, I studied, But it was because of that consistency, I was able to knock out every single license on the first try. Wow. So knowing that process works, I can now apply it to everything, right? So as a professional, I've managed a lot of teams, and one of the biggest things that I shared with my teammates is leave your problems at the door, right? Like, when you come to work, we all are human, we all got shit that we're dealing with, but when you're here, when you're punching in and you got to deal with the public and your customer service, you don't need to bring that onto other people, right? Leave that shit at the door, come, bring your best self, take care of business, and then when you're done, you go and you deal with what you got to deal with, right? Mm-hmm. So I wish I could tell you that I live a perfect life. I don't, none of us do. But when I clock in, I bring my 110%.
That's badass, dude.
Thanks.
That is fucking super cool. So you said you manage teams.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, but hold up. 300 pounds. Let's skip over that. 300 pounds. You weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah, for real.
From what age to what age?
That was high school, man. So when I moved down from New Jersey, I was kind of depressed because I thought I had this dream life in New Jersey. I had my gang, I had my boys, I had my family in New Jersey. So my parents, I'm very grateful that they made that decision of moving us down to Miami because they knew that it was going to be a better opportunity for us. But being a rebel, came down here. Instead of making good friends, I made not the right friends. Got into drugs, just eating crap, and I got up to 300 pounds, man. And then it was, I can't remember what it was that triggered me. I think I just kind of had like that feeling of enough is enough. Like I knew that the route that I was on was not going to lead me to the things that I wanted. And I found LA Fitness. There was a location close by, and I just said, I know that this is going to be a positive thing for me, right? So that got me away from that group of friends. And instead of going back to them, it was like, okay, I just went to school, went to the gym, went to school, went to the gym. And that was how I knocked out that first 100 pounds. And then I got a job at LA Fitness, and then that's how I started my career in fitness.
Oh shit! Which LA Fitness is it?
So down here in Miami in Kendall. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so It's the one Kendall. It's one of the old locations, and I was there for a couple of years, got promoted. Then I moved on to the brand new one in West Kendall, and I spent 15 years of my career with that company.
Damn, so when you lost all that weight, you had to buy new clothes and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
How was that?
It was fun, right? It's fun. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that will relate, so I lost 100 pounds. So I got to about 190, was kind of like between 190, 200 pounds was kind of like where I got stuck, right? And because losing the first initial weight for anyone who's really overweight is usually pretty easy if you're consistent and you're doing the right things. But then you get to a point where, now you're on that stubborn fat, that hard, where you really got to crank it up, right? So for a lot of years, I always kind of got trapped between that 190, 200. And I noticed that it was always at the end of the year that I would get back up to 200, right? Because between Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, you gained it all back. And it wasn't until I started finding mentorship in the fitness, people that really knew their stuff, where it's like, hey, as you get older, it becomes more about the intensity. Right? Like you really got to step it up a notch. If you thought that you were intense with your diet, now you got to be a little bit more intense with your diet. And that's where the lowest I've ever been was 170. So right now I'm about 180, trying to get to 170, but not so much that I look like a mummy. But that's kind of where I'm at right now in my fitness journey.
Holy shit, that's awesome, man. So you're almost there to 170, your goal.
Almost there.
Okay,
Almost there.
Cool. Yeah. Where are you at right now exactly?
185.
185?
Yeah.
When was the last time you were at 185?
Probably a couple years.
It's a couple years.
Yeah, because when I left LA Fitness and I decided to do finance as just the only thing that I wanted to do, it was stressful. I had never ran my own business. I never been in something that was 100% commission, sales. So it was stressful, and I was in a situation where I wasn't going to the gym enough and I was eating out a lot. I'm grateful for all my clients who fed me dinner, and I guess the combination of just not working out, not eating right, and just the stress, I gained a lot of weight, right? So I almost got back to that 200 pounds again. And fortunately, when I made the decision of partnering up with Lifetime and continuing my finance business at the same time, now I kind of got my bearings again into fitness, and I'm kind of on my way back to where I want to be ideally.
So you didn't get over 200 but before you worked here? As far as from when you were getting certified and licensed in finance until now, had you gotten over? I
think the most that I passed was about 225. And then that's when I was like, and I think I talked to you a little bit about that. That was at the end of last year. So in January, I knew I gained the weight. My wife, in a nice way, was trying to tell me like, hey, you're kind of gaining some weight again, And
can you give an example? Like how was she trying to be nice about it? Sorry to cut you off.
I love my wife to death because, and you know her, she's super fit. She's super disciplined when it comes to eating and things like that. She's not a sweet tooth person like I am. And in the nicest way possible, like, hey, you got to start working out again. I think you're snacking too much. And me thinking, no, I know everything, I'm good. And then because I'm trying to overcome this fear of getting in front of the camera and doing more content for myself and my Flex and Finance business, because I knew I gained a little bit of weight, I was like, you know what, let me take some pictures in January to kind of see what, those before pictures, so that when I get in shape, now I have something that I compare to. And it's funny how the mirror can trick you, right? Because in the mirror, I was like, I'm all right, I'm all right. But when she took those pictures and I saw it, I was like, oh, I was like, wait, who is that? You know? And I was like, no, I can't. And that really lit a fire under me where I was like, no, I got to get this done. I was very fortunate that Lifetime put together a little 60-day challenge back in April. And, you know, when you put a deadline to something, it kind of turns you on, right? Because now I'm like, okay, there's a date on the calendar that I got to get this accomplished. So then we really ramped it up and we really tightened up the diet. And then I'm kind of where I'm at right now, slacking a little bit, but now trying to get back on it. So I don't fall in the same trap at the end of the year where I gain all the way back. Right.
Got it. So since April, you've been on this mission again?
Yeah, so I'm down 20 pounds since April.
Since April. Was that 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah.
Around there? That's awesome, bro.
Yeah,
good
thank you.
Shit, man. And then you are, as you said, you're slacking. What are the things that get in the way?
You know, so I think, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably feel the same way, right? Like you hit a goal, right? Or you see some results, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, I can take my foot off the pedal, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really at those moments where you really got to crank it up to high gear, right? Because it's easy to fall back to old temptations, right? So my biggest problem, besides loving sweets, is that I love to snack, right? Because I'm in and out of appointments all day long, just kind of like you. And what's easy? To just go and get a handful of nuts, right? Which is like super high in fat, you know. But as a big guy, I'm not eating 3 or 4 nuts. I'm eating a handful of nuts, and I'm going at it every hour. And then I notice like, went down to 180, went up to 185. Like, fuck, 5 pounds I gained again. So I think it's the combination of, what's the word? Getting comfortable, right? Or thinking that you're on the right track and now you can take the foot off the pedal, and then just falling back to old habits that if you're not careful with that, it could throw you off.
Mm-hmm. Well, as your coach, and I'll just say it here, it sounds like we get to do some work around emotional regulation.
Yeah.
Because it looks like that's a coping mechanism. You said stress earlier.
Yeah.
You were eating a lot more, you were stressed out. I know myself, when I get stressed out, I start reaching for different shit too. I just, when I catch myself reaching for certain things, like I'll get home and I'll open the cupboards and I'll close them, open the fridge, go back to the cupboards. And usually by the second time I'm like, stop it, Rob. Close the cupboards, back off, stop, go for a walk. I already know what I'm doing. I'm bouncing around.
That's what I gotta start doing, yeah.
But I'm used to I'm able to catch that, and I'm like, all right, what am I tripping on right now? What am I stressed out about? Like, what can I let go of? What can I go do something to let this energy out? Because usually it's just stored energy that you have to get rid of, or not get rid of, but use, utilize it. But yeah, just pointing that out, that's probably something that we get to look at. Because I've noticed, even back in the day, I know you mentioned that you used to do drugs back in the day. What was it that you did, if you don't mind saying?
Mostly marijuana.
Mary J.
Good old Mary J.
So, I know that my coping mechanism, the way I used to cope. See, even if you mess up, it doesn't fucking matter. You just figure it out and you keep going. Yeah. We're gonna leave this in. I don't give a shit. But the way I used to cope though was drinking and was doing drugs, whether it was coke or weed or whatever. I was like finding a way to kind of like just mask what was going on inside of me. Disconnect. Perfect word for that. Was a disconnect. And so I know for myself that I needed to do a lot of work on what I wasn't processing, what I wasn't letting go of. I was holding on to a bunch of shit. And it's something that I've talked a lot about with people, about resentment.
Okay.
I didn't really know the true definition of resentment until a couple years ago. And people like Angie and certain people who love me, they're like, you probably should look at that. You probably have some resentment going on there. And when I finally looked into it, I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm just a walking fucking piece of resentment. Like, resentment is just coming out of me all over the place.
Okay.
I didn't understand it back then. And so when I started doing the deeper work on that, I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't feel the need now to reach for certain things to cope, to mask with stuff. So anyways,
nice.
I wasn't trying to turn this into a session here.
No. I mean, that's great because, doing some of the homework that you assigned to me, there was a question there where it was talking about resentment, and I didn't really understand resentment. So if you want to, for the people watching.
Yeah, so basically it's simple. It's like you feel like you were done wrong. You feel like you were done wrong, like something was, you're treated unfairly or someone fucked you over, and it's that feeling you have of like, fuck you. Like, fuck you for doing that shit. And let's say you get to a place where you're not saying fuck you for that shit, but you're more of like, you know what? I'm forgiving, but I'm not forgetting. That's resentment. That's resentment right there. I'm going to forgive you, but I'm not going to forget. No. Forgiveness really is to give it forward.
To let it go.
To completely let it go. To where like now I'm good with you. Like I understand you were operating at that level of consciousness. So was I at that time period. I understand that. And I truly accept that experience. I accept you. I accept myself. We're good. Right? And you can truly let it go. But when you have a piece of energy that's still there, it's like, oh, but maybe that person will screw me over again. Oh, I got to watch my back with that. No, there's some shit there. There's some shit there. And that's what you got to watch out for, because that ends up compounding over time. And it's almost like being fat, right?
Okay.
When you're fat, and I could speak to this because I was at 207, I've lost 60 pounds.
Nice.
When I was a little fat fuck, you crave more fat. Like it's science. Like you crave more things that are fatty or whatever. The same thing happens when, let's say, a hangover, right? Like you're craving that fat, those extra calories to soak it up or whatever that might be. So I know with resentment, it's the same shit. Resentment's going to attract other people who are similar on a similar frequency that might cause other things to happen where you co-create with them other experiences where you get to resent them.
Wow.
And it's just a goddamn vicious cycle.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that now?
That's I'm realizing that I have a lot of resentment then. But it's good because these are not things that, along with fitness and finance, are not taught in school, right? Like if they really had a class that was like, hey, all these emotions that are out there and understanding how they are and how they work and how to manage them, right? Because we're all going to go through situations where you're going to maybe feel resentful, right? Because of how someone treated you or a situation. But if you're not knowledgeable on how to manage it, then it's something that you're going to hold on to, and it's just going to be like an anchor just holding you back.
Yeah.
That's
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I would just want to kind of, the way that I kind of view it, because you can see, like, you deal with the public, I deal with the public, right? And there's a lot of good people out there, but you can just tell that there's people that are holding on to something or going through something, and it's not allowing them to be their true selves, right? Because they're just, whatever it is, like this monkey on their back that they can't get off their back, right? But if someone was there for them to kind of educate them, like, hey, this is what you're feeling, this is what you're experiencing, and this is how to manage it, this is how you can let it go, then you would see a lot of people being more themselves and really living life happy and they're just being the best self.
Have you ever tried to share things with people and they're just like, I don't want to hear this shit?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'm sure you see this even what you do in finance. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
But some people just don't want to be helped.
No.
Like they want to stay in their shit. I know I've been that person in my own life. Like I'm like, I just want to stay in my own shit. I really don't want to get out of this. I actually feel like that was the case with alcohol until I stopped drinking, was because I knew exactly what to do. Like for the years since 2020 on, when I was drinking heavily, I knew what to do. Like I knew to stop drinking. I knew to start changing my eating habits and my sleeping habits and to let certain things go that were just getting in the way. I knew I had to deal with certain emotions that were there.
Okay.
And then me being a coach, like, yeah, I know this shit, but I was still like choosing to stay in my own shit for some reason. So anyways, just I guess highlighting the fact that even though if you know what to do, doesn't mean you're going to actually do it.
Correct.
Now I want to ask you about, like, as far as you getting certified, licensed in finance.
Yeah.
First of all, what made you want to get into that world?
So when you're young and you don't have too many responsibilities, we all know that money is important, but you don't really understand how important it is for your future, right? So we're all living for today, instant gratification, and it's not until certain things. So for example, in my situation was I had a son, and then I found Jess, who's currently my wife, and so now I had my family, the people that I, not only do I love them to death, but that I feel responsible for, right? So as the man of the house, now finance became important, right? Because not only to make money to put food on the table, but to have something for our future, right? So one of the things that we struggled with was, even though I was a manager of the gym, my wife was a registered nurse, so on paper it looked great, right? We made good money. But at the end of the month, there was never nothing there, right? Because when you live in Miami, there's a culture of you go out every weekend and you're popping bottles and you're having fun and you're going on vacations and you're buying things that you shouldn't be buying. And then all of a sudden, there's no money at the end of the month. You're putting things on credit cards. And we couldn't figure out why we couldn't save money to buy a house one day, right? And I was very fortunate that I ran into a friend of mine who already was in the finance business, and he was able to come over and teach us, right? And just kind of say, hey, this is what it takes. And he offered me the opportunity to work with him. He said, look, because I got really into it. I was like, oh man, this is great. I want this. Like, let's set all these things up. And he's like, look, Dan, because he knew who I was. He knew how I was as a customer service and as a professional. So he offered me the opportunity to get licensed. Like, he sponsored me. He paid for everything. So I was like, yeah, well, how would I miss this opportunity, right? And just growing up and knowing that, I never liked the idea of sitting in front of someone that knew more than me that could take advantage of me, right? So when he pitched the idea of, yes, I'll help you, but I'd rather you get licensed so you can manage your own things. And I said, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Because instead of me trusting somebody else, I could just manage my stuff and I'll learn because I wanted to learn. And so I took that leap of faith, right? And I didn't have to leave my job. I was still working at the gym. So I had the flexibility of having my steady paycheck and just, like I said, every day I was studying. And so I have my real estate license, I have my securities license, I have my insurance license, and I manage all of my stuff, right? I don't have to trust somebody else. And the reason that I got into it as a business was because I realized I couldn't have been the only one that felt that way, right? Through conversations, I knew that people were in the same position that I was. So I said, okay, great. Well, I'm licensed, right? So legally I can help people. So why not? So I just I did it part-time. I got really good at it. I started making money. Things at the gym, especially around COVID time, really sucked. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just take this leap of faith, right? And for 5 years, I just did finance. And it was great. I made a lot of money. I learned a lot. I built teams. And kind of like what you had touched on before, people say they want things, but through their actions, you're really going to find out if they're really about it or not, right? And so a lot of people were like, yeah, I want to, but then they wouldn't follow through. But to answer your question, that's how I got into it, right? Because where I was working, we had no 401k, we had no life insurance. Whenever there was an emergency, the first thing that you do is you pull out a credit card, right? So I always wanted to have like an emergency fund. And because now I'm very well versed in that world, I have everything set up, And I definitely when I look at legacy, I want, when I'm no longer here, Rob, I want people to remember me as, hey, Dan tried to help as many people as he could, right? In whatever area, whether it's fitness or finance, everything that I've acquired as far as knowledge, I want to share it, right? I want to put it out there. I want to put people in a better position. So that's why I kind of made that decision.
I love that, dude.
Thanks.
I love that big time. I'm going to ask you another question to expand upon your legacy.
Yeah.
As far as what you want to leave. What do you stand for? What do you truly stand for in your life, in what you represent? And I'll elaborate more on this. If you were willing to die for what you stand for, die on the sword, what would that be?
Great question, right? So I think there's two parts to that, right? So the things that mean the most to me is my relationship with God and my relationship with my family, right? So number one, I'm going to do whatever it takes to take care of them, right? The best way that I can do that is through the knowledge that I've acquired, right? So I'm licensed in almost every area of finance, right? And I'm also certified in different areas in fitness, right? So I'm a personal trainer, stretch specialist, nutrition, pain performance, all these kind of things. So what I want to be known for and what I want to leave behind is my passion for both health and wealth, right? Because I really do feel that they coincide, right? They kind of go together, right? There's no point in having super great health and you go to the gym every day and you eat perfect, but when your finances are crap, you're not going to be able to do much, right? And on the flip side, you can make a shit ton of money and you can have the fancy house and you can have all these things, but if you don't take care of yourself physically, you're not going to last that long to enjoy it, right? So I want to be able to help as many people as I can in those two areas. and leave something behind, right? Because if I can take care of that person, that eventually will pass on to their generation and the next one and the next one. And obviously that's what I see is going to happen for me and my family, right? Because like my son, my son's going through, and it's hilarious because I'm reliving my childhood through him. Like he's doing all the same mistakes that I made, and I'm trying so hard to like warn him and educate him, like, no, like do this instead. But we all get to an age where we think we know more than our parents, and he's kind of going through that, and it's all good. It's part of the process, right? I'm still in his corner if he needs me. But I know that one day, and I'll give you a great example of how it clicked for him. My son cannot hold on to money if his life depended on it. It's like you give him $20 and he's like, take me somewhere so I can spend this thing, right? Especially when he was young, and when so I would save it. And with my son, he has a little investment account that I always put money every month into it. And whenever we get together, I like to show him. We're like, hey, look how much it's grown. Look at it. And I can tell that he's been impressed, right? Because he sees the number keeps going up. And one Christmas, because we split parent, my son, I had him for the holidays. My family, I think, between everybody, threw $60 at him. And he was ready to go back to his mom's house, right? And he, he's about to head back, and he goes, Dad, he calls me Pop, you think I could take my money with me, right? And now that he's older, I don't want to keep putting that pressure on him. So I was like, you know what? You're old enough now. It's your money. Do whatever you want with it, right? And then I said that to him, and he's holding the money in his hand, and he looks at the money, he looks at me, and he goes, put 20 in my investment account,
What?
Right? And I was like, it clicked, right? So that was a very proud moment for me. I almost cried, but I was like, you know what? Keep your 20. I'll put an extra 20 in there for you. But at least I knew now that he was starting to get it, right? So I hope that not only am I going to take care of my family in that way, but I hope through helping a lot of other families the same way, that it'll happen the same thing, right? That their future generations will be able to enjoy what I brought to the table for them.
Dude, I love it. Thanks. I love that. Thank you for the story too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to take you a little bit deeper into it. Not to say that it's not
No,
deep,
go for it.
But I like to ask these other follow-up questions, right?
Let's go.
If you didn't exist, like let's just say something happened and you just weren't here anymore. Okay. What would people be losing out on?
Besides such a great guy that I am, I think in some ways, and I'm not trying to sound like conceited or anything like that, but like you said, I'm a light bulb, right? And I think there's a lot of people that they don't have that in their everyday life, right? Like we're very fortunate that we're in a place like this where we're meeting a lot of people who are like-minded, right? High performers, things like that. So we're in a very unique situation where we're surrounded by people who think like us, that are very positive, that want more for their life, that want to leave a legacy, but think about all the people outside of us, right? Like sometimes I'm driving down the street and I'll see somebody who's like super obese, right? And in my mind, I'm like, how did they allow themselves to get that way, right? But then I have to remind myself, I'm like, oh, they're not in the same environment that I'm in, right? Like we're in an environment where everybody's fit around us, right? Or everybody's making money, everybody's building something great. So to answer your question, Rob, if I wasn't here, I feel like there's a lot of people that are missing out on that light bulb, right? That there is hope, right? That there is someone out there that cares enough to want to help without something in exchange, right? Whereas I love just sharing information, like especially like here in the gym, we have a lot of young trainers, right? Young, ambitious, they want to work, they want to make money, but nobody ever sat down with them to talk about like future and investing and making smart decisions and looking at things not as an employee, but as an entrepreneur, So me not being here, I wonder, is there someone else that's going to talk that language that I talk? So I hope I can be here for as long as I can to share as much as I can and impact as many people as I can. But to answer your question, if I'm not here, then I think people will be missing out on that.
I got it. Another question here. Okay.
Go for it.
First of all, maybe we can come back to this if we have time.
Yeah.
But you highlighted a certain thing that I've talked a lot about to my own clients and friends. These are two different mindsets, the employee mindset and the entrepreneurial mindset. two very different mindsets. Being someone who was an employee who's now an entrepreneur, it's like a fucking makeover. Dude. The whole entire
black and white, trust me.
Black and white, bro. That shit is crazy how much difference there is between the two mindsets. I want to ask you this question. So just play the game with me, okay?
Go for it.
All right. So I want you to imagine yourself walking into the back of a church, okay? The church is full, all right? And I want you to imagine yourself walking from the back of the church now to the middle of the church, okay? And there's a separation usually where the pews are, right?
Correct.
You can kind of see on both ends. And then I want you to see at the front of the church, are you seeing it in your mind's eye?
Yep.
I want you to see at the front of the church, there's a casket at the front, okay? And I want you to keep walking towards the front, okay? And get closer to the casket, right? And I want you to look around and I want you to start seeing all the people that you know, all the people you're familiar with, all the people you've came in contact with, everybody you've said hi to, they're all there.
Wow.
I want you to walk up to the casket now and I want you to see that it's you.
It's me.
Okay? And I want you just to stay there with me. Okay, cool. I'm getting fucking chills. All right, and I want you now to imagine 3 to 5 people coming up to the front to talk about you, to say something specific about you, each person. You don't have to say who they are.
Gotcha.
Okay, but just sit with this for a minute or two. It doesn't matter. We can cut out that time. We can keep it here. Yeah. But I want you to imagine now and just connect with it. What are these 3 to 5 people specifically saying about you? That you did this for them. This person stood up for this. This person was always like this. What are those 3 to 5 people saying? What are those specific things?
You know, so this is a great question, Rob, because I've actually thought about this before, right? And I think I kind of guide the way that I live my life because of this reason, right? People don't remember what you did, what you had, material things. People remember how you treated them, you know? So that's why I always try to bring my best self. You know, I always try to come 110%. Like when I go home, bro, I am exhausted because I know I'm here like, hey, you know, just getting everybody pumped up. So if there was 3 to 5 people that had to get up and say something about me, it'd definitely be that I was a positive person in their lives. I was someone that was uplifting. I was someone that just always tried to share the best information that whatever situation that they're dealing with, like the light of the tunnel, right? Or looking at the cup half full instead of half empty. People that I think didn't have a support system, right? Like I said, I wonder, you know, if I wasn't here, like, would some of these people have a person like me in their lives that genuinely wants to speak life into them, you know? I mean, from these people, you know, for sure, some of them would be family members, right? Family members that knew the person that I was before and had the privilege of seeing me evolve into the person that I am today, right? Because like I have an aunt of mine that, you know, like she, you know, from day one cleaning my butt as a baby, you know, to seeing me now and seeing that the way I talk and the way I talk about not only family or business, but also faith, you know, like they just like blown away, like, yo, Dan, like you're this monster of a person now because of, you know, like my aunt always told me, like, Dan, like you're gonna be the one in the family that makes it real big in this family, you know, and I'm proud of that, you know, and it really gives me that reason to wake up every morning and do it again and try to do it even better. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that helps with the question.
Yeah, a little bit. So you said that your aunt, right?
Yeah.
Was always telling you that you're gonna be the one who makes it big, who makes something of yourself.
Yeah.
So would you say, like, number one is like, Dan made something of himself. Dan was here and he fucking showed that, hey, this is possible.
For sure.
Is that safe to say?
For sure, 100%.
Okay. Now think a little bit deeper on this, okay? Like I want you to just tap into your heart on this, right? Like logical mind, put it to the side. We need our logical mind, but just for the sake of this exercise, just put it to the side and connect with your heart. What are 2 to 3 things, or just at least one thing that you secretly wish people knew about you, that this is really who the fuck I am?
I mean, I don't think it's even secret. I want people to know that I care. You know what I'm saying? Like I really care, right? That I'm not looking for like, I'm gonna give you this, but I need something in exchange, right? Like I need to be compensated for this. Like, one of the things that I'm known for, especially here at Lifetime, is that I care enough to know everybody's name, or as many as I can, right? Safe to say, let's say 75% of the 1,200 people that I clock in Monday to Friday during my shift, I can tell you their first name, right? And a lot of them, I can even tell you who the spouse is, who the kids' names are, and I don't gain anything from it. Well, I do, because I gain their respect, or I gain at least their acknowledgement that, damn, Dan cared enough to know my name and to know what I'm going through. Like when people go on a vacation or they're going through something, and then I bring it up, like, oh, how was that trip? Or, how's your knee feeling? I know you told me last time I was there, like, oh shit, like Dan cared enough to remember those little details. So I think, and I know you said like if it was secret, like, secret that sometimes I feel like could be like a negative thing, right? Like if I was hiding something, like I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm really trying to be my true self and just give the world as much as I can of me, because I know in the end it'll come back, right? I don't know how, I don't know when, but it will, right? So I just strive to just be my best self and help as many people as I can, and just really, if I can turn somebody's frown upside down, like that's made my day.
Mm-hmm. Dude, fucking love this, man. So a light bulb, you want to be, not a light bulb, but just be that light, a light for people, right?
I'm going to get that on a t-shirt.
Light bulb. Bro, that could be something. That could be something. I want to make something of myself. Like I want to prove that I am this. Like is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one is like, I want people to know that I fucking care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I truly fucking care.
Yeah.
And that's noticeable as shit. Like all of them are noticeable, but that is really noticeable that you do give a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I try to preach to my clients. Like, if you want to thrive in whatever, like not all of them are in business, but some of them are. Mm-hmm. If you want to thrive in business, you have to give a fuck about people, because it's not what you think it is. Like, it is a crazy amount of love that you have to have for other human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's service of others to others before self. Like you're serving yourself by serving others because it feels good. Like that's the first thing you're getting, is you're feeling good about serving.
Yeah.
So that's massive.
And just to touch on that, Rob, people will sense if you're just there to do a sale. They smell that shit. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy's just here to sell me something. He's not putting my interests at all on the table, But if you make it more about that, whether you get the sale or not, it'll come, right? And it maybe not even come through that person, but it'll come through the next person, right? But you got to show that you care. Right? Because people don't do business with people just because of the knowledge that they know. It's because they know and they trust them, and they feel they're like, wow, this person really is trying to look out for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so like when you are, let's say, helping someone to become more financially knowledgeable, right? If they don't understand what you know, what is the likelihood or the most probable outcome, most probable future that they'll run into if they don't know what you know and don't make the moves that you suggest they make?
Yeah, great question. So the way that I run my business is all about education, right? Like it makes no sense at all for me to sell you something that you don't understand what you're getting yourself into, right? So my whole approach, number one, is education, right? Again, because I put myself in their shoes, right? When I didn't know shit, that's why I was afraid to open an account or to sit in front of someone that knew more than me, because if I didn't understand it, if I wasn't knowledgeable about it, I'm not comfortable moving forward, right? So my first approach with a family is, number one, learn about what they want, right? I'm going to share a great story with you that is clicked so hard when I heard the story, right? So I'm sitting in one of these finance seminars, and it's usually some old white guy just boring the shit out of you, and you're just almost passing out because it's just numbers and things like that. But this one guy gets up and he tells a story about a financial advisor who gets a call that a movie star has a big check and they need someone to help him with how to invest it, right? So the guy gets all pumped up and he does all this analyzing and stuff like that. He puts a report together. He finally gets to the meeting. He's sitting across the table from the guy, and he's like, guess what? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this and this and this and this, And the guy's thinking that he's doing this amazing presentation, right? And I'm sure at the end, he's probably like, so what do you think? And the actor gets up. I think it was an $8 million check. Just grabs the check and rips it in front of him. And he goes, you know why? Because you never asked me what I wanted to do with the money. And I was like, whoa, I was like, boom, light bulb turned on, right? Like, so every encounter that I sit down with, the first question is, what do you want? Like, what do you want to see? Like, where do you, like, if they don't know how to start, then I kind of break it down. Like, look, finance really just comes down to four areas, right? Your debt, your income, how you're going to protect your assets, and how you're going to save your money, right? And that's it. And then I go, of these four areas, which ones are the ones that you want to see more improvement in? And they usually say all of them, you know, but then some people will be like, no, man, I really need to learn how to save money, or I have a lot of debt and I want to help tackle that. You know, so great. So I make it, so now I know how to pivot and make the conversation about that, because that is what they want. That is what interests them. That's what's going to make them happy. That's what's going to close the sale, you know, and that's my approach.
Got it, dude. That's awesome. I love how you broke that down into 4 different areas.
That's it. You know, I think the finance industry on purpose makes it complicating to, number one, scare people so that they never do it. And number two, scare them enough or throw them off where they just go, okay, yeah, here's my money, and do whatever you think is best. And then they usually put them in the wrong products. They put them in things where they end up losing money instead. So I truly try to dumb it down, real simple, make it easy, make it graspable, so people can go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's move forward.
I love that, man. How does somebody get in touch with you to understand the game and to get educated?
The easiest way, my Instagram, Flex and Finance. So just reach out. I love having just an initial phone call, just to, so for example, you know, Edward that works here that does jiu-jitsu. I did an amazing job for him, and he's just been telling everybody about me, right? So I just had a conversation with his cousin yesterday. His cousin had a great story. The guy was pretty much homeless and just did whatever it took. You know, he's a waiter now. He's making good money. He finally has a car. Finally has a place. And because he was smart enough to keep his expenses low, he has a surplus of money every month. You know, so because Edward now is in a better position, because now he knows how to invest money, now he knows how to manage his budget. You know, he's like, cousin Ron, you gotta sit down with Dan. You know, so so I told him, like, just set up a text message 3-way, introduce me to the guy, and then I'll just reach out and we'll have a call. And we just had an amazing conversation. I asked him what he wanted, you know, and now we have a meeting set up for next week.
Dude, awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And you've been able to help people here at Lifetime as well?
A bunch of people.
A bunch of people?
A bunch of people. Not only teammates, because, you know, I don't even make money doing this, but for example, there's a lot of employees that don't take advantage of the 401k, right? Which, you know, there's a lot of other things that are going to happen before retirement. Like, you want to have a house, you want to have an emergency fund, things like that are going to happen. But if we don't start at least minimum putting something away for long term, there's going to be a lot of catching up to do if you even get around to it, right? Lifetime matches, so they give you free money, you know? So it blows my mind that there's people, but I'm not mad at them because they're not educated, right? So I love to just sit down with them for an hour and let me just educate you, right? Let me show you Rule of 72, the power of compound interest, right? Like how over time your savings will grow enough where now you're in a position where you can leverage it or use it or whatever you want to do with it. Lifetime offers a stock plan. They give you stock at a discounted price, you know, and people don't participate in that, number one, because they're not educated. And if they only knew that because they're getting it on discount, they're already up, right? If you're buying it at 10% discount, that means you're already up 10%, you know. So with the teammates, I love to have those conversations. But again, because we're in this environment that we're dealing with high performers, right? Like, it's not your average Joe that comes to Lifetime, right? Like, to come to Lifetime means that your fitness is important enough for you to make that monthly investment to be able to come here, right? Or you just want to separate yourselves from those people that are not aligned with, you know, the trajectory that you're heading to, right? So being here has been refreshing, right? Because where I came from, talking about the stock market and things like that, people are just like, no, that's a scam. People don't really make money, and they're not. And here is like, I talk to people like, no, I've had a Roth IRA since I was a kid, you know? So it's refreshing to be around people that understand the importance of managing your money well, investing for the future. So it has been a very humbling experience to be here.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it is a major difference, especially compared to like 24-hour fitness or LA fitness.
True.
You're having different conversations
Yeah.
with a different breed of people. Yeah, and it's like for me, it's like it's a different lifestyle. Like I've worked hard to live the lifestyle I live now. When I say work hard, I've had to make decisions to walk away and pull away from realities that didn't serve me. I wouldn't say it was that hard. It was just more of like saying no to a lot of things, to say yes to a lot of things. Yeah, when you really frame it that way, it really wasn't that hard. It's just a decision.
You just knew that wasn't the right fit for what you wanted anymore, and it was like, okay, it's easy to let this go because it's not going to help me get to where I want to go.
Right.
So it's if you want it bad enough, then it's okay to let go of old friends or old habits and things like that because you know that it's not going to let you get to your ultimate goal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, I want to ask you a couple more questions.
Let's go.
Okay. What are a few things that you have been criticized for in the past where you thought, you were like, dude, this is like one of my flaws. Like this is one of the things that kind of makes me screwed up or less than, that has now turned out to be a superpower?
Let me put some thought into that. I mean, one of the first things that comes to mind is especially people who have known me from my days of, just being a pothead and lazy and overweight and not being someone that kept to his word, right? To now be this different person and now trying to come to the table and be like, hey, I want to help you in this way, this is this or this way. A lot of these people, and it's sad to say that a lot of them are family members, right? And it's okay. Like I'm not going to hate on them because I understand. Yeah, I'm gonna give you an example. My godmother, love her to death, right? She's my mom's sister, has always been good to me. When I first got licensed to do investments, she's obviously one of the first people that I hit up, right? And she goes, Dan, I love you, but you are too new to this for me to trust you with my money, right? And I was like, you know what? I respect that, right? I think if I was in your position, I would probably say the same thing, right? And I think a couple years went by, right? And I just didn't want to bother her with that because I didn't want to hear the same response. And I think she's having dinner with my parents, and my dad calls me up the next day, and he goes, listen, if I were you, I would reach out to your godmother. And I was, yeah, what's up? And I think it was like an election year, so the market was down like big time. And she had always worked in Macy's for a really long time, so she had a nice 401k built up, and she took a big hit, right, because the market was down. And now that she's getting closer to retirement age, she kind of was worried, right? Like, oh man, like a big chunk of my money I lost because of the market. And so I took that opportunity to reach out again and be like, listen, now I have a couple years under my belt. We have these products that have guarantees. So this way, you can guarantee that your money's going to continue growing even on a down year. I'll even go as far as bringing my broker with me who has 20 years of experience, just so that we can explain this the right way. And if it makes sense, we'll move forward. And that's pretty much what I told her on the phone. And I guess because now she's starting to feel desperate, right? She gave me the opportunity, right? She came over. My mentor, Mark, he did a great job presenting the product, and she went ahead, and she gave me $25,000, and that was great, and to know that she now trusted me enough to invest money with me, and then now she loves it, right? So now she keeps throwing money at me because she's in a product where even if it's a down year, she makes money, right? And because when you're at that point where you don't want to work anymore, you're physically is tiring, you want to be in a position where it's like, okay, at least I know a chunk of my money is going to be okay, so I don't know if that helped.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, definitely helped. So yeah, the question was like something that you were criticized for in the past that you thought was a flaw, and it's like now your superpower. So like you're saying that like you fucking know your shit when it comes to
and I think when you really like, if you had a picture of me of what I looked like 20 years ago versus who I am today, like you would think that they were two completely different people, right? Just the weight of the person, the hairstyle, the skin. Like when I was not taking care of myself, man, I was pizza face. I was like a lot of acne, because when you're putting the wrong things in your body, it's gonna show, right? And the way I was dressed. the way that I talked, like I definitely was not that person that cared back then, right? So when you look at that person and you look at the person that I am today, it really like, so I think for some people that I haven't had those deep conversations with, right? Yeah, physically they see that I've changed, but inside their head, they probably still think that I'm that old person, right? But I think the right person, once I have a conversation with them, when I start speaking life into them, when I start speaking experience and what I've learned, then they go, hey, this is a different guy. So that other aunt that I mentioned earlier, she has seen me go through all that, right? And it's a blessing for her to be able to say those things. Like I take it, like it means a lot to me for her to be like, yo, Dan, like you're gonna be the one that makes it because you've not only cared, but you've also have gone above and beyond to learn and evolve as a person, as a professional. So it brings me a lot of pride that the recent appointment that I had with her is because now her son, 16, he's working part-time at Publix. He doesn't want to struggle the same way that his parents struggled. And so we opened up a minor Roth IRA for him, right? So I took the time to educate him. I really had to kind of switch how I explained it, right? Because explaining it to someone our age is one way, but explaining it to a teenager, like I can't be so technical with him, right? Because it's just gonna go through here and come out the other ear. So with him, I used some videos that I had that were real short and cool little graphics and stuff like that. And for him, it clicked, and he gets paid weekly. So I was like, Richie, his name is Richie. I'm like, can you put away $25 a week? He's like, yeah, absolutely. Great. If we do that 4 times a week and 4 times a month, you just learn how to save $100. He's like, oh, that's awesome. And I showed him with the power of compound interest that in about 30 years, he'll have more than $1 million already. So he was like, so I know, and he's the type of person that when he gets into something, like he'll go all in, so I know he's super excited for that.
That's cool.
And at the end of that conversation, he moved away from the camera and I asked my aunt, I was like, hey, how did you think that go? Did you think? And she was like, Dan, that was perfect. That was perfect. I can tell that he's excited. I'm happy for him. And again, she's always pumping me up like, Dan, you're going to do big things in this world, and that brings me a lot of pride because it makes me feel like I am heading in the right direction.
Dude, this is fucking awesome. That's an awesome story. Hell yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, what are 2 things that you want to leave people with as far as what you offer, what you do, knowledge you want to share?
Yeah. Number 1, I just want to have a conversation, I think, doing what I've done for such a long time already, I'm going to pick up if a person's serious or not, right? Because I've had a lot of meetings where I've turned down business because I'm just like, this person's not serious. They're more talk than anything. Their actions speak a lot, and I have no problem saying no, because it's like, 1, because I know that they're not serious, and then 2, I don't want to deal with the headache, right? So to answer your question, I think just having a conversation, I know what questions to ask where I can pick up on, is this really important to this person? Is this person going to actually take action if we're going to move forward with anything? And is this person someone that I enjoy being around, that I want to, because this is not I sold you one thing and that's it, peace out, I hope it works out. That's not the business that I'm in. Like I'm in the relationship business, right? Like I want to sit down with Rob and help him and every 3 months be able to come and visit and be like, hey, let's review your stuff. There's I'm very grateful that I have built so many great relationships because of what I do, where I can't even tell you how many birthday parties and barbecues that I've gone to because of it, So number 1 is have that conversation. And then number 2 is, if I educate you and it makes sense and you're comfortable with doing it, then we'll move forward.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Was that 2 or is that 1?
I guess you could put them together.
Okay, where can people find you on social media?
So on Instagram is Flex and Finance with periods in between the words. I can share my phone number, I guess.
No.
All right. Before weirdos start calling me.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share or complete with?
I mean, number 1, thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. And as much as I want people to reach out to me, if I can share anything with you guys, hit up Rob too, because bro, you've been life changing. Even before I approached you and I said, hey, I want to actually sit down with you as a client and work on these different things that I'm very concerned about and I want to improve in, you've been a friend. You know, like you've always been more than happy to share nuggets and even not only with me, or even with my wife, you know, and you've never asked for anything in return. And that means the world to us, you know. So if there's anybody out there that just wants someone to maybe kind of be able to pick your brain, I suggest it, man. Reach out to Rob. He's the man.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you, dude.
Absolutely, Rob.
And it's only a month in, bro, and I'm already like, I love working with you.
And
thanks. What you said about like, am I gonna want to work with this person? Or do I like this person, right? In the context of what you were talking about, like that's the same thing too. I'm like, do I even like this person? Because I'm gonna be with this person a lot.
Yeah.
And the way, like, how I treat my clients, how I treat my business, I take it very seriously. I don't know if you could tell, but I do. I take it very seriously.
Huge.
And because like that person is trusting me with their life. Like there's certain things that they want to accomplish or certain things that just keep fucking up in their life.
And really personal stuff.
Very personal things. Hell
you know,
yeah.
that just to kind of touch on that, right? Like I think I've talked about things with you that I haven't even felt comfortable telling like my own wife, right? Because I'm either ashamed of it or scared or whatever, you know? So to have a person like you where there's no judgment, that is gonna stay in this room, almost like a priest, man, you know? Confessing all my stuff.
Yeah.
But man, it's been in the little bit of time that we've been working together, man, it's been a life-changing experience.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You, bro.
Yeah, I truly give my all, or at least what I think is my all, because I think there really is no ceiling, right?
Yeah.
There's no ceiling, so there's probably more that I could give, but I try to give my all because like, I care. Like I really truly give a fuck. And it's like if you're coming to me with these things that are happening and you want these things and I have like my intuition is on point and I can see shit that other people can't see, right? And if I can see something there and you're coming to me with this stuff, like I gotta go all in on this and tell you what's going on. And by the way, this is how you adjust. This is how you pivot. Hey, Dan, it's been a week. Did you pivot? Did you do this stuff? No, you haven't. Hey, bro, take a look at this, dude. This is, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be on people's asses. I don't think I've been on your ass like that at all because you're coachable and you take action on it. But like I care so much that sometimes like I disturb my own peace of mind because I'm thinking about it so much. I'm like, did they do something about this? Because I'm like, they came to me with this problem, but then they're still dealing with the same problem. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So anyways, wasn't trying to turn it around like that, but I think it just ties into your passion that you have for your work. Like I see that in you.
Thanks.
Because I am that as well, and I respect that about you, man. So I hope people find this valuable. If this does go out, do you want this to go out?
Do it.
Okay, we'll put this out then. And as you know, there is no motherfucking ceiling.
Let's go.
Hell
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.
Dude,
that was fucking awesome.
We're gonna put this out then. Fuck it.